Hi, we are the ThinkNeuro molecular neuropharmacology cohort. Our research project is basically based on how does our understanding of neuroplasticity and its mechanisms play a role in the evolving treatment of Alzheimer's. My name is Beneia Cardozo. I also go by Naya. I am the first author of this study, and my institution of study is UC Berkeley, where I study neurobiology as a junior.
Hi, my name is Samhitha. I'm a first-year neuroscience major at UCLA, and I'm a second author on this project.
Hi, my name is Abby Rivera-Gu. I am a subsequent author on this project, and my institution of study is Miramonte High School.
Hi, my name is Bhanu Kadali. I'm a subsequent author on this study, and my institution of study is Marriott Ridge High School.
So as a quick rundown of what we're going to be talking about today, we'll basically be covering methodologies as well as different figures we've generated through those methods, and then putting it together to kind of look at the big picture on what our study contributes and the direction of research that this is heading in.
Alzheimer's disease has long been viewed as an irreversible neurodegenerative condition marked by the gradual and debilitating deterioration of certain neuronal functions.
Alzheimer's can take over a decade to progress and is associated with severe amnesia or memory loss and cognitive decline. Individuals with Alzheimer's can initially present with minute memory problems, such as the inability to find common objects or trouble finding their way home. As the disease progresses, they develop dementia and worsening cognitive function. As they lose their memories, they lose their social connections and their personal identity. At the final stages of the disease, those with Alzheimer's are rendered completely dependent and are unable to perform any activities of daily living alone. In this way, Alzheimer's is an extremely taxing disease on those afflicted, their families, and their caretakers. In the end, death is an inevitable outcome of the disease.
However, advancements in neuroscience have shed light on the cellular and molecular mechanisms involved, as well as on the brain's capacity for neuroplasticity, the ability to adapt and reorganize. These insights are prompting a shift in approaches to Alzheimer's treatments.
To conduct our research, we began by inputting specific keywords into the Web of Sciences pertaining to our topic. We then compiled the top 100 most cited journals pertinent to our area of interest. The data resulting from our research was imported into an Excel spreadsheet, and within the spreadsheet, the data was organized by first author, senior author, year, article title, journal title, and number of citations. Then the R programming language was utilized to employ Biblioshiny, which was the platform that we used to generate our figures. The purpose of creating these figures was to create visualizations for the current research that exists relevant to our topic. Displayed here are our first 8 most cited journals from our polled data. As previously mentioned, we compiled our search results and organized them based on criteria as seen above, so we could generate figures to aid our bibliometric analysis of the field. In addition to this criteria, we examined the keywords and co-occurrence themes from our polled data, which is pertinent to our discussion later on in this presentation. Our first figure shown is a table of the most cited senior authors. As shown, our most cited senior author is Dr. Paulus Walter, who is a professor of clinical neuropsychology at the University of Göttingen in Germany. His research interests include understanding the mechanisms of synaptic plasticity and examining them in various diseases such as Parkinson's and epilepsy. He does this by utilizing non-invasive techniques of electrical stimulation and repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation, also known as RTMS, to induce different types of synaptic plasticity such as long-term potentiation, LTP, and long-term depression, LTD. This is a figure of the institutions of the authors that were discussed in the previous slide. The top institution was the University of Göttingen, followed by Harvard University and the National Institute of Aging, known as the NIA. These findings suggest that these institutions are at the forefront of research pertaining to neuroplasticity and Alzheimer's disease because of the resources that they have available. It is plausible that researchers at these institutions in particular have unique experience and knowledge which allows them to be prominent contributors to the field. It is also possible that these institutions have strong funding for their Alzheimer's research.
Figure 3 shows the isolated top 100 most cited journals from the articles pertaining to Alzheimer's, treatment, and neuroplasticity, which includes Trends in Neurosciences, Nature Reviews Neuroscience, and Brain Simulation. The Journal of Neuroscience, having a history of acclaimed publications since 1981, cited the most top 100 journals with 9 publications found amongst our data.
Figure 4 shows our Web of Science methods. So we started out with over 4,300 preliminary search results. We rooted out over 4,200 of them, which left us with 100 eligible studies. Of the studies, 39 were articles, 55 were reviews, and 6 were proceeding papers. A greater number of reviews than articles may show a trend of the field of Alzheimer's developing from building upon existing literature and theories.
So next we have a co-occurrence network, and basically this displays the keywords in all the eligible studies, as Abby mentioned, under our bibliometric analysis, in terms of their frequency as indicated by the size of the words, and their relationship, which is indicated by their associated colors and the webs connecting them. It's hard to dismiss the themes coming out at us, such as plasticity, long-term potentiation, as Samhitha mentioned, and others. Our analysis will focus on the most frequent themes besides Alzheimer's and neuroplasticity, just in order to avoid redundancy and to focus on the branching relationship from these topics, since that's basically what our research question is. And so, as reference from figure 4, which is figure 1 in our poster, we've chosen 100 eligible studies from 4,000 plus search results and found that a majority of the keywords and recurring themes were of the following categories: messenger RNA, neurotrophic factors, and long-term potentiation. Now, why is this all important? These fields help give us some insight into where our current research of Alzheimer's and its association with neuroplasticity and learning is heading. So, taking a deeper dive into these topics, because how are they related to Alzheimer's? What context do they play in this field of research in the first place? So, looking into our first topic, we have messenger RNA. And so, the emphasis on messenger RNA indicates growing research into the genetic predisposition and regulation of neurodegenerative disorders. An example of this is a 2021 study of the novel RNA-based investigation of microRNAs. This is a non-coding RNA, ribonucleic acid, that binds to mRNA, messenger RNA, to regulate gene expression and its role in Alzheimer's diagnoses. Our next topic, which is neurotrophic factors, are neuronal proteins that maintain function for remyelination, which basically ensures that signals are propagated at an appropriate and fast pace. Neuroregeneration, which is essential for the repair and the development of neuroplasticity, and vertebral nervous system development. And so research into these classes of peptides makes sense, especially with Alzheimer's being linked to deficits in axonal transport of these neurotrophic factors and its imbalanced distribution and dysregulation in the brain. Now, in the face of neurodegeneration, myelin sheaths are a prime target in neuroinflammation and failure to carry out efficient signal propagation, as we talked about in remyelination. So, research into neurotrophic factors shows a promising target for discovery. Lastly, the highlighted and most frequent in our study field of research involving long-term potentiation also shows promise. Long-term potentiation is basically the strengthening of neuronal connections, also neuroplasticity, very related. And basically, this presents as a therapeutic target for neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. And this is due to its association of that disease being a principal experimental model underlying learning and memory. And so, tying all of these topics together, from this bibliometric analysis, these identified fields point to the future of Alzheimer's and its effect on neuroplasticity. And so, as of now, there are currently no effective treatments for Alzheimer's disease, which is why it's important to explore these therapeutic methods and targets until these effective treatments can be seen and made available. So, by identifying and progressing these, we step closer to a future of more accessible diagnoses, and more accurate treatment of neurodegenerative disease. Thank you so much for listening.